We're here at the second day of Packet Microwave and Backhaul Forum. Can you give us some of the trends and highlights you've seen across the presentations this morning?
Sure. So first there's confirmation that there's going to be more and more demand for high throughput, higher connectivity, both on 3G but also 4G and 4G advanced, LTE advanced networks. So moving from few megabits per second up to 150 for the current 4G and 300 megs for the LTE advanced. Second trend is clearly around TCOs. So more and more operators are looking at reducing the TCOs with a high focus not only on CapEx but also on OpEx. So taking into account the hardware, the deployment and the maintenance of the network. That becomes a very critical thing. The third thing that we've seen is that all those operators now have a very pragmatic approach. So they're looking at their network and not only of what's going to be their network in the future and what's going to be the equipment to be deployed in the future, but also what they can do now. And I think it's a good combination of things that are existing, that have been deployed, and that are on the roadmap. So now we're seeing more and more combination of traditional point-to-point technology and point-to-multipoint technology in their deployment.
Well, I think there were some interesting technical highlights, particularly like the presentation from NEC this morning, which was talking about optimizing the dimensioning of transmission circuits, and that was similar to some of the work that we've been working on, a different technical approach to resolving it, but really addressing the same fundamental issue, which is that oftentimes in traditional backhaul you end up with underutilized links, and that's obviously a loss of efficiency which to operators represents spending that they don't need to be doing. So we've seen some innovative approaches being presented on small cell backhaul for sure, some nice presentations. Again, it was nice to see from operators talking about the kind of toolbox approach that we've spoken about in the past, that point to multipoint in line of sight frequencies, so 26 gig, 28 gig and higher frequencies than that, are very much tools that operators are considering for small cell backhaul. So I was particularly pleased to see that. We think that point to multipoint line of sight systems have a really strong place to play in the small cell backhaul ecosystem.